They'll just be third team ever to win the Big Ten tourney 2 straight times. And of course, that was the beginning of what was an incredible postseason run. Took them all the way to the national championship game. They lost some key pieces. Mo Wagner, who was tremendous really all season, but certainly down the stretch in March and April. Muhammad Ali, Abdur-Rahman, Duncan Robinson, all gone. But a number of big stars back, including Charles Matthews and Zavier Simpson, who join us now, along with Coach John Beilein. And before we get into your team, I want to know how you're doing.
I'm doing great.
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
In the offseason. Tell us about physical.
So ask them. I hope I'm not any different. I might not be quite as loud. I don't project quite as much. Just give me time. I'll get back there.
All right. Yeah, give us some insight, fellas. How's he been in practice?
You can hear him. You can hear him a lot. He's not as loud as he once was, but Coach Phil makes his presence felt and makes his presence known.
His presence is definitely felt. He's still coaching every day. But
David, I can't get a word in though sometimes because I want to tell Iggy what to do, and Charles is telling him what to do. Is saying this is what Coach wants.
Yeah.
Right. It's just what he used to think was corny a little while ago. Now he's preaching it to
it's
the other
gospel,
guys. So,
right?
No, it's great to watch him and Zavier coach. They might as well be on my staff right now.
So what does it mean to you as a coach to have a player-led team like that? Guys who can take over on the court, in the locker room,
that's
when you're away from basketball?
That's probably the biggest reason between the last 3 seasons as we got better every single year is it was a player-led team. I think coaches lead early in the year.
Yeah, for sure.
These guys got to have that team. They got to have the pulse of that team. When we get into the dog days of the Big Ten schedule and then the Big Ten tournament. This year in the Big Ten tournament, I was just sitting watching it. I was just watching it happen in front of me. It was beautiful.
Well, yeah, it was beautiful. You guys obviously played incredibly well. I'm interested, you talk about being a player-led team. You guys went to Spain without your head coach this summer. So, first of all, just tell me about that experience basketball-wise and how this team came together with some missing pieces, clearly from last year, Zavier.
I think it was great, honestly. Obviously, with Coach B down, it was an opportunity for Charles and myself to step up. The assistant coaches did a terrific job coaching us. But it was good outside of basketball. We got a chance to connect as a team, get to know each other better, and develop that relationship so we're able to hold each other accountable for on-the-court actions.
Yeah, the Maryland players were telling me a little bit about their trip to Italy and what they saw. What was the experience like away from basketball? What was the coolest thing you saw in Spain?
It was crazy. Just really to dive in and immerse yourself into the culture. Like, it was my first time actually being outside of the country. So just being able to go to Spain and you really bond together because we don't know the language. We're trying new food, getting in the ocean, and we really just spend so much time with one another because we never got to really hang out with the freshmen outside of practice due to their class schedule and things of that nature. So really just being able to be with each other and just see them raw in the flesh and who they really are, it was a, amazing trip.
Best food?
We went to this one, how was it? It was one restaurant we went to. What's the name of it? When we was at the little boat, we was all there with a big group of us, just the players.
Yeah. Any paella while you were there?
It was paella.
It was a big dish of it, actually. You can't beat that. Let's talk about this team and how the dynamics of this team might change. And clearly, look, you had some big-time guys that you have lost. So give me a sense of, look, you're gonna be right there. I mean, I think everyone knows this is a team that's going to compete at the top of this league and among the better teams in the country. But how do you kind of reconstruct it this year?
We have to reinvent ourselves again. I mean, it's not this huge but now, who has a 6'11" guy that can drive a guy from the perimeter or shoot a three? You don't have that every year. We'd like to do that again in the future, but John Teskey gives us other stuff right now. We had Duncan Robinson, a money shooter. Well, now we have another money shooter. Who's that going to be, or how many people that going to be? So what are these two guys? As a coach, I've never they say about this is our style. Our style is adapting to our players. Sure. That's our style. For sure. And it might fit into a framework, but that's what we do. And so it is a different dynamic, without question. As coaches, we have to adjust, and then they will do the same.
So when you say you fit into what your players can do, how might this look different than last year? I mean, other than personnel.
Well, as I said, the obvious thing is you don't have a center who can do so many things on the perimeter.
So what will you have?
We have John Teskey, Austin Davis, right, that can really be these strong big men that will offensive rebound, will roll out of the pick and roll and finish in the pick and roll. We could play small with Brandon Johns as well. So there's a lot. I think we have probably more flexibility, as much flexibility as we've had. That's the hope. right? Zavier last year wasn't even started at the beginning of the year. Now he is like the guy out there. He's running this team. He's teaching. He's doing things like that. So we didn't do as many things with the point guard last year. Now we're going to do more, right? Charles, right? Muhammad was getting a lot of the calls last year. Now Charles is getting more. He got a lot last year. He probably wanted more, but we'll play through these two. We'll play through these two guys a great deal, and then we have 5 freshmen. 2 of them or 3 of them got to play. They just got to help us. Otherwise, we only got a 6-man, 7-man team. We got to have them, and we still got to find out who that is.
Well, give us some insight into the freshmen. You got a couple who are really highly talented. I mean, a number of top 100, top 150 type guys.
Yeah. Well, Iggy is the guy that led us in scoring and rebound in Spain. Mm-hmm. So a lot of things to grow in that area. But what I like, and these guys could comment about it, I mean, he loves, being coached.
Yeah,
he's not a guy that came in and said, I'm a top 50 player.
Sure.
I know it. No, he just wants to. He's a sponge right now, and that's good. You guys think so, right?
Definitely. He's such a yes, sir. I see how he responds to Coach Beilein. Coach Beilein's, if you're a better player, he's going to be on you to a different level. And Iggy just responds to it so well, especially for him to be a freshman and not to hang his head or let his confidence rattle because of that. I salute him tremendously for that.
Also, during the film sessions, when Coach Beilein or any other assistants are talking to him, he's just engaged. And as a freshman, that just shows a lot. Shows a lot of maturity and just shows a lot how he can help us as a team.
You guys really bought in as a team on the defensive end. It's really evolved over the last couple of years, but it started to gel in a huge way last year. You were, by the end of the year, maybe the best defensive team in the country. How did you guys get yourselves? And I know that, Zavier, a lot of that was you. A lot of that is kind of your DNA.
For sure.
But give us a sense of how you trip in and trip out down the court defensively, get yourselves to focus.
It's just more of just a team having pride. You just have to have pride on defense. With me coming in, I knew that would be important that my assignment was to play not good defense, but great defense to the best of my ability. Yeah. And I was just happy that I had players surrounded by me that followed my lead. And what do you know, we end up being a top defensive team in the country. So I'm just excited for that. Hopefully we can bring that mentality out earlier this year. But until then, we have to just keep learning, keep adapting to the refs in different environments, and just keep learning from our coaches.
How about from your point of view, Charles? How did you guys become that
sort
team?
of the second what he said. We have great coaches, great teaching, and so we learn the fundamentals and the principles of defense in different schemes. But the personnel last year on that team was crazy competitive. Through open gyms, there was a lot of prideful guys in that gym. He's extremely prideful. Myself was. Everybody know Mo. He wears his heart on his sleeve. And then Muhammad was a quiet guy, but he still had that pride inside. So we just had a lot of guys that didn't want to be, we were saying film sessions, don't be that guy. So none of us wanted to be that guy anyway, and we just all locked in and gelled in on the defensive end.
Coach, at what point did you realize that for this team to truly be that great, that defense was going to have to be a huge component of it?
Well, I knew when we lost Zach Irvin, Derek Walton, DJ Wilson from the year before, those were 3 guys we ran most things through. And that's why we tried to figure out how are we going to win next year. Winning's a lot of ways. I said first of all, one of the biggest thing was to me give more of a voice to an assistant coach to run our defense. Yeah. Right? Just I think offense so much more than I think defense. I know you got to do both, but I also realize what I feel I'm really comfortable with and what I need to emphasize more, and that was defense. And giving Luke Yaklich that type of freedom, right, has really made a great difference as well. So, but you see that, how are you going to win games? Every year we say, how are you going to win? Well, some year you're going to play more zone. Some year, some year you're going to do more pick and roll. Some years you're not. This is what we're trying to figure out right now.
Do you think, will we be talking about the defense in the same
You will be
vein?
talking about the defense in the year. John Teskey really gives us a great presence inside. Not a shot blocker, but a wall maker. Yeah. Right, he's a wall maker. Austin Davis is a wall maker. They're going to be up in there. And Iggy, if Iggy gets those minutes, right? Iggy is strong, right? Charles guards him every day.
He's strong.
He is strong. He's country strong.
It's a strong boy.
Canada's strong.
He's Canada.
He's strong.
He's Lithuanian strong.
As soon as that shoulder hits you, you know you.
And Brandon Johns is a guy that is another top recruit that I think has a chance. All our freshmen have a chance, without question. Dave DeJulius, Colin Castleton, Adrian, they're all having opportunities right now because we only had 7 returning players.
Right.
So, but a couple of those guys, their bodies are more ready.
For
Brandon, and Iggy's David's body's ready.
They're physically
right.
ready.
And every day, I feel sorry for these guys. He and Eli got to go against him every day.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Right, and we've seen one of the worst things that happened to other teams playing us in the NCAA tournament. They would hear about our defense. No, I'm unguardable. You told Zavier he's unguardable. You're about to get shut down. And that's what Eli and David are facing every day. What Iggy's facing every day, it makes us better.
All right, great stuff. Really good to talk to all three of you, Zavier Simpson, Charles Matthews, John Beilein. Coach, great to see you doing well.
Thanks.
And we look forward to watching the Wolverines again.